I'm answering some DM questions today. My computer's right next to my camera, so I keep looking at that. I will try to avoid doing that. I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, so hand cramping. That was one of the issues. Now, I feel like this is an issue no matter what when we're dealing with anything really small and tedious. Like when I learned lash extensions, I felt like I ran into a similar issue because we're so zoomed in and we just like are like these little pinch your arms, little pinch your fingers, and it's kind of uncomfortable. So my biggest recommendation is stretching, because I feel like we just needed to get a little bit more movement in there, and I think cramping is going to like still be an issue. So I don't know that there's 100% a ways to avoid it, but I think that we can minimize the discomfort. So this is one that I really like doing. Full stretching. You can hear my fingers popping. Just kind of rocking back and forth and stretching all the fingers out. You can spread out like this and stretch like that. You can also pull the front this, go like that. You can actually feel this through into your wrist as well, which is beneficial. Little movements for the wrists are also good. And then another one I like to do is I kind of flex my hand like this, and then you're gonna point or touch fingers to your thumb. And then just kind of keep your hands limber. Another thing that you can do is apply creams. Can help when you have like sensitivity. If you want to use something topically, you can also use like hand warmers. I love there's like those rice pack things that you can like heat up and put on you. They actually make mitts of them too, so you can heat those up in the microwave and then put your hands in them, and it feels so nice. So those are the couple things I like to do. Heating pads, obviously. But yeah, I know hand cramping can be such a pain in the ass, but I feel like it's just like any muscle. Like we're doing something new, so we just kind of gotta like get through that funkiness of it and get some good hand dexterity, and you're using your muscles in a way, like your finger muscles in a way that they're not used to. So cramping's kind of usual. This is the same way as like starting a new workout. Okay. Pressure. So hand dexterity is the trickiest because you have like isolated fingers, but also one hand is doing one thing and the other hand is doing another. So one hand is your like foundation that's like holding the thread in the proper location. The other hand is like moving and, trying to pull those hairs, right? So they're doing multiple things. So I think it's common that there would be an issue. Now, pressure is the hardest. My biggest recommendation is having some thread at home, making your loop and using it like on your thigh so that you can see like the pressure. Let me make a thread loop so you guys can kind of get a visual of what I'm talking about. So pressure is going to be something that changes depending on the situation. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes really hard pressure is good. Sometimes really hard pressure can be a detriment because you can end up like grabbing. Oh, sorry. I'm like blinded by this light. It's really hard to see this there. Too much pressure, you can grab the skin, right? And grab, elements that we're not looking for too. We're not trying to grab. So what you want to see is, I'm trying to think how I can like show this to you. We're gonna want to see like, you can see like that flex. You can see like it's smushing around. I'm moving the skin with my thread. That's what we're kind of looking for. So one thing that you can do is use like a brow pencil, powder, whatever, make a brow on your leg, and then work on just pressure and keeping the thread down on the skin as you rock back and forth. Like, of course, you can try to grab hairs if you want, but just trying to see. Let me see if I can just. This is not going to be a cute camera angle, so I apologize in advance. So we've got our thread. See how you can kind of see that flex. So you're just going to try to apply it and keep it. And then just kind of rock these back and forth. Don't do anything crazy. You are going to pull hairs though. So this is just going to be you kind of getting used to the pressure and movement back and forth. So just try that. Reset my camera a little bit. Try that, see if that helps you. But I feel like just rocking back and forth on your knee can help you get the finger motions of threading while keeping the pressure. Okay, next question. Actually grabbing the hairs, kind of the same thing as what I was just talking about. I feel like a lot of the times we're really concerned about speed. You do not need to be as concerned about speed as you do need to be concerned about pressure. So work on your pressure. When you're really doing a good job grabbing hairs, the angle, in your hair zone, you're grabbing all the hairs that you're trying to grab. in that zone and everything. Once you get a good hang of that, then you can move on to speed. So actually grabbing the hairs is all going to be about pressure. If you're not having an issue grabbing the hairs, you're lifting. So as you're threading, some part of your arm is lifting and you're scooting across the top of the hairs and not grabbing the hairs. So when you're threading back and forth, like I just showed you on my knee, the thread needs to stay in contact with that skin the entire time. So just keep that in mind. And another thing that was written down was razor burn. I'm not entirely sure. The same person was worried about grabbing the hairs. So if you're not grabbing the hairs, you're snapping the hairs or breaking the hairs, which can cause obviously like irritation within the hair and the skin itself. So that could be causing a lot of that like razor burn look. I also feel like just like with like waxing like the legs, for instance, for the first time, you get that histamine reaction. I feel like sometimes people can experience that on their face or when they get their brows done with threading. I feel like when you're slow threading too, so you're threading like a lot of little pieces and you're not able to get like all of them 100%, that could potentially be causing it. So work on that like knee thing that I was just talking about, pressure, really applying it evenly, because if you think about it, you're more likely to break and cut hairs if you're not keeping that really consistent pressure across the skin as you're removing the hairs. Hopefully that's helpful. If you need more explanation for that like razor burn thing, shoot me a DM and I can go into it a little bit more in depth. One person said, I've cut somebody before, so I'm always paranoid now. I 1000% see you, hear you, and understand this feeling. It is so stressful. I hate it. I know how uncomfortable it can be, but it's part of the process. I still, to this day, sometimes I'm talking with my clients and I didn't realize they moved or something and I've caught skin, or they were drier that time or whatever, and I've like maybe not caught the skin, but like abrased it. Some people with like more mature skin, going across the lip too much, like pushing that pressure across the skin can cause redness and irritation. I've done that too. It's all about getting used to it and just apologize. I've given discounts before for my, doing that on accident. A lot of my clients, I feel like once you bring attention to it and you apologize and you like bring transparency to your mistake, or that you're learning still and you're getting the hang of things and you apologize and you're bringing attention to it, people understand and they're not going to be upset, at least in my experience. So I would work with models, do things maybe for free or for content or something for a little while you're getting comfortable with it. Not only are you going to bank up some good content to use when you're ready to offer the service, but also you're going to get more comfortable, right? And the only way you're going to get through the paranoia and the frustration and the concern of hurting somebody is to get better at it. So just keep practicing and try to only work that service on people you feel comfortable with, to have that conversation in case something were to come up. Hopefully that's helpful. Okay. Trying to get down the speed. I feel like I'm way too slow. Okay. That is what I just talked about a second ago. Speed is going to come with time. I know that's not a really good answer. I know that's not great advice, but speed is not something that can come super easily, because you need to focus on your pressure, because you can be a fast threader and a bad threader, right? So this is all about building those foundational blocks of what you need in order to be good and proficient at something. So the first step in that building that proper foundation is going to be proper pressure. So focus on the pressure first. The speed will come with time. And I think that once you're feeling good about pressure, you're seeing a lot of like the hairs removing, you're seeing like really nice sharp lines, you'll notice that you'll get quicker. And I just think quickness comes with a practice. When I was learning threading, I get asked a lot like, how long did it take you, like da 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 da. But you guys have to remember that when I was learning threading, that's all I did. So I clocked into my shift to learn when I was threading, and I threaded start to end of the day. We didn't do anything else. All I was doing was threading. Maybe like wax a lip through like there periodically, but like my clientele that I built that are all threaders is because all I was doing was threading, even when I was working for somebody else. So I have threaded, it sounds crazy to say, but I've threaded thousands of brows, right? Maybe I've repeatedly threaded the same person over and over again. I'm not saying thousands of people, but I've threaded thousands of brows. So you have to remember that in order to get to where I am, I can't tell you there's some magical thing that I did to make myself fast. What I did to make myself as fast as I am with threading is never stop doing it. So if you want to be a really, really good threader, keep threading. This was super fun. I love breaking things down. I love giving a little visual, but also talking to you guys in a more one-on-one situation. So I am looking forward to this, and shoot me a DM if you have any more questions.